Unprecedented liquidity or money will provide powerful stimulus for recovery. Wow, this is huge amounts of cash that people have as they move through a modest recession. Uh-oh, that's different. Hello, everybody. My name is David Ruff, and I make these videos to help you make sense of this crazy world because we seem to get articles every single day that are talking about opposite things about the same subject. What do I mean? The economy, we'll be flipping through the news, and we're going to get one article that says the economy, housing prices are crashing, people are in trouble. The next article we open up, we all of a sudden see that everything is hunky-dory. It's peachy, soft landing, nothing to worry about. In fact, let's quote our own central bankers that said, we have this under control. We're doing a great job. All right, so let's check out some of the stuff that is coming out just so that we could whet our appetite a little bit and see what the hell's going on. First article right here, Canada has $300 billion in cash buffer to soften the blow of coming recession. This is RBC, Royal Bank of Canada, the country's largest bank. It's important to see what these guys are saying, right? If we head down here, unprecedented liquidity or money will provide powerful stimulus for recovery. Wow, that's interesting, right? We're going to get back to that. But unprecedented amount of cash sitting there. He says unprecedented liquidity. So this is huge amounts of cash that people have as they move through a modest recession. Uh-oh, that's different, right? There's a takeoff from before, because before they were saying, don't worry, this is going to be a soft landing. No problem. We're going to take care of it. It's like the Greenspan put back in the 90s. Don't worry, nothing bad is going to happen. So changing their tune now from being mild, according to the country's largest bank. As we all know, they've raised the interest rates from 0.25 to 4.5%, which by any mathematical calculation, you would see that housing prices will have to drop by 40%. And they've done this in such a short amount of time, 8 times in a row. They have raised those interest rates. That was shocking. But 40% fewer transactions, right? And home prices have dropped 15%. But remember, you guys, as I always tell you, we are only at halftime. That prices drop between 12 and 18 months after the rate hikes. Ladies and gentlemen, we just started the rate hikes like 9 months ago. We're only halfway through the effect of the first interest rate hikes. And so I think 2023 is going to be a bit rocky. I don't think it's going to happen like everyone else thinks, that it's just going to recover miraculously tomorrow for no reason. This is the crazy part, you guys. If we truly want interest rates to go back down, everyone seems to say the same thing, the pivot, the pivot, the pivot. Interest rates are going to go back down to zero. That's what everyone keeps saying, right? But if it goes back down to zero, something bad has to happen for that to happen. The only other times that happened was when 2020 happened, they shut everything down, or massive financial crisis in 08. So if you want interest rates to go to zero, you're kind of wishing for something terrible to happen. And notice this, unemployment rate will climb from around 5% to 6 or 7%. Now, depending on who you look at in the markets these days, it depends. Some are saying that there is lower inflation than their 4% target, but they're claiming unemployment will go up. But if we translate that to what that really means for people, is people are going to be losing their jobs, can't be paying their mortgages and everything else. And just remember, in 2008, the percentage of people who foreclosed on their homes that caused the entire world meltdown was 4.5%. 4.5. Please remember that number. All right. Do you notice right here at the top of the article, he says it will provide powerful stimulus for recovery. This is the main bank. Interestingly enough, Chrystia Freeland here was mentioning that Canadians had too much cash in her bank account, and they wanted to, quote, unlock that preloaded stimulus, which is they wanted to find ways to force people to actually pay all of the money out of their bank account to spend it. Now, that was back in 2020, 2021. Please spend your money. Please spend your money. 2021 can't happen, and inflation took off like crazy. Then all of a sudden, they're like, don't spend it, don't spend it, don't spend it. So this comes into a lot of questions about these central bank digital currencies that they're all planning to roll out this year and next. Is this something new? This is my question to you. This is what I always show everybody. This old piece of paper is from 1920. This is from Germany. If you look on the back of it, it'll have a date on it. I have several of these lying around, but on these cards, they were in German, and for each city, you weren't allowed to spend it outside of the city. Interesting. So you could only spend it at a certain geographic location, and it has a date on it. meaning that the money expired if you didn't spend it by that certain time. Oh, wait. The central bank digital currencies, they could have the power to, let's say, restrict the money to be spent at a certain time. Or they could put dates on it, meaning you must spend it now or you can't spend it now. So remember, central bank digital currencies have some wonderful things. It can be much, much cheaper, much faster, but you also have to give something to get something. And so programmable money, which is what central bank digital currencies are, could be a little bit dodgy. But you tell me what you think about that. But she wanted us to unload that at that time. But what happens with you guys, this unprecedented liquidity? Look at it, central bank and the RBC saying unprecedented liquidity. I just was pulling up articles. 80% of people struggling with the cost of living, according to that survey. Cost of living crisis from around the world in different countries. Even in Canada, 56% of Canadians are saying that they cannot keep pace with the high cost of living. And so this goes back to not just, well, I can't afford my sports car. This is they can't afford food, they can't afford daycare, they can't afford energy, gas in their car. So remember, the cost of things that you need are going up. The cost of things that you want are going down. Completely opposite ways, right? And so when they talk about food inflation, they're not talking about caviar and lobster and blah, blah, blah. Of course, if it's $100 for a lobster, nobody's going to go buy it, right? But I'm talking about bread, eggs, milk, flour, it's the staples. That stuff is going up and up and up price. You back me up. You know that it keeps going up nonstop. The cost of fuel, the cost of daycare, the cost of housing, everything is going up. And then even if you are a landlord, it doesn't matter where, your taxes are going up, your insurance is going up. So everybody is just getting squeezed like crazy because of this inflation. And so if you are looking and desperate for things that you need right now, of course, I want you to increase your skill set and to try to be able to provide more skills, provide more value to people, make some more money. We need to outrun inflation. If you have a couple extra bucks, I think everybody should have 6 months reserve on the side just to make sure that they're okay. Now, the costs of things are going up. So if you need it, if it's baby products, diapers, it doesn't matter. It's a good thing to stock up and have more at home. In addition to that, if it's something that you want, say that you were waiting for Sea-Doo, a boat, I don't know, something fancy, now is not the time to buy that. You're going to be able to buy that all for pennies on the dollar later. So just wait for a good deal to come. That time will come. I think the times that we're running into in 2023 will be a lot rougher than the majority of people are expecting. Now, these guys are experts in all countries. They have hundreds of economists, in some cases, thousands of economists that are there. I don't believe that they don't know what they're doing amongst all of them. I don't buy that from the mainstream media saying they don't know what they're doing. They probably know the outcomes, but just try to think of the reverse. What are they supposed to say? The world is falling, the sky is falling, something bad is going to happen. Like, they can't say that and have mass panic on the streets. You know what I mean? So it's up to me and you to be educating ourselves to understand how the market is behaving so we can strategically place ourselves. That is why I'm telling you guys, start reading some books. Here are some books I want you guys to get out there, start reading these books. These books are amazing, and it's really going to teach you how you can get ahead in this market. I want you guys to remember the next 2 years is going to dictate the next 2 decades of your life if you play it the right way. You can make a lot of money in a really big recession, and you don't have a lot of them in your lifetime. You may only have 3 or 4 of these opportunities in your life. So please take this time, be prepared. Love you guys. Have a great night. Thanks so much for sticking around. If you like that video, you might like this one and maybe something like that.